The 96-degree weather isn't gonna stop baseball here in Glens Falls. We get slated for the first of two games here from Eastfield between the Glens Falls Dragons and the Saugerties Stallions. Welcome inside the broadcast booth here. I'm Nathaniel Cunningham. We'll take you through all the action between these two games, both for Game 1 and Game 2. Luke LaRose will join us a little bit later. These two teams frequent players of each other. It seems like it's every couple of days the Dragons and the Stallions are facing off. Well, how about we take you to the last time that these two teams played? The Dragons picked up their first win down in Saugerties in a year and a half. An incredible contest down there where it really became a pitching duel, as we're going to step aside for our national anthem here, so don't go anywhere. Back here at Eastfield, I'm talking about the last time the Dragons and the Stallions faced off was down in Saugerties. They were supposed to play in a contest that was rained out, hence why we're playing two here today. But back in that game, it was a 2-0 victory in Saugerties. And it was hugely due to electric pitching. Andrew Gabriel, Connor Trudeau, Chase Falcon, and then Trent Jenks. The four of them held Saugerties to just one run on 5 hits. They struggled to really formulate any offense, the Stallions did. So Glens Falls is looking to do that again today, especially after a rough outing on Saturday. Had their rest day off before these now 5 straight games at home. This Saugerties offense, though, they're not nothing to push over. An excellent squad that's led off by the reigning PGCBL Player of the Week. That's right, Luis Rodriguez, their center fielder, is 10 for 14 this last week, and really was a key piece in why the Stallions have gone 3-0 through the past 7 days. He started it off against Amsterdam, where he had a 6-hit game and ended up taking down the Mohawks 10-9 in the process. So Luis Rodriguez will be the centerpiece of this lineup as he bats in the leadoff spot. Behind him is Cameron Carroll out in left. Reese Maroney is at second. And then the big man, Travis Hobbins-Siefkin, he has a team-leading 2 homers so far this year, 1 against this Dragon squad. He's in right. Hitting 5 is Jamie Z. He's over at short. Logan Sanchez is behind the dish. And then it's Dylan Passo over at first, Casey Kaminsky at third. And then Ryan King is in the DH spot. He's getting his first game of the season for the Stallions. Pitching, though, for the Dragons, it's Colin McMahon on the mound. And McMahon so far, he's got a 2.45 ERA. Pitched in 2 games so far, has only thrown 3 2/3 innings. So haven't seen extended time from McMahon in 2025. Either way, he starts his windup for the first pitch, and it's chopped off foul as we get underway here at Eastfield. Mentioned Luis Rodriguez's just excellent past week. This season has been excellent. How about a 417 batting average with 2 triples to his name? He grounds that one over to the second baseman Savoca, who delivers it on a line to Jackson Mueller over at first for a soft out number 1. You seen that defense? How about we talk about it? Behind the dish for the Dragons is Joe Haynes back there, and then from left to right around the infield, it's Enrique Diaz at third, Joe Carpier's at short, Gino Savoca over there at second, and then Jackson Mueller at first. In the outfield, it's Aiden Gallagher, Tyree Jackson, and then Tyler Figueroa. The first pitch to Cameron Carroll is swung on and missed. Carroll, the exact same batting average as Luis Rodriguez, but 10 less games. 417 in his 3 games as he takes another cut there and digs himself an early 0-2 count. Got 5 hits in 12 at-bats, Carroll does, one of those being a double. The 0-2 is high. With today's contest being a doubleheader, they are 7-inning doubleheaders. So not the full 9-inning game. 7-inning mercy rule comes after 5. 10 runs after 5 innings if needed. The 1-2 runs inside, count evens at 2 apiece. McMahon taking his time. The 2-2. It's chopped on the ground. Over to Mueller at first. He grabs it in fair territory and steps on the bag for out number 2. So 2 weak ground balls for Colin McMahon. Has got 2 easy outs here in the top of the first. In steps another newer player for this Saugerties team in Reese Maroney. He's played in just 2 games so far this season as he watches the first pitch in there. But in the 7 at-bats that he's taken, he's got 5 hits, one of which was a double. Seems like everyone for this Stallion squad, regardless of how much experience they have, can hit. The 0-1, McMahon tries to get a breaking ball in there, but it stays up. The 1-1 fouled off. So the count will become 1-2 with 2 down here in the top of the first. Mentioned McMahon's limited time here in 2025. He's used to forcing weak contact. In those 3 2/3, he's got just 4 strikeouts, but only 2 walks as well. The 1-2, it's popped up. That'll get out of play over towards the parking lot. Of pitchers with at least 2 innings or more for Glens Falls this year, McMahon, the lowest batting average against. Opponents are hitting just 154 against him. The 1-2, again, tries that breaking ball, just can't get it low enough. So count will be 2-2 with 2 outs here in the top of the first. McMahon delivers. That one lined out into left field. In comes Gallagher. He dives and makes the play. Aiden Gallagher with some early theatrics makes a diving play out in left and makes it 1-2-3 here in the top of the first. The Dragons, they look to create some offense as we head to the bottom half of the inning. We're back at East Field as we get slated for the bottom half of the first, and the Dragons get their first attempt at the plate. Before they do, though, let's run you through Glens Falls' starting lineup. It starts with their new guy, the speedy outfielder, Tyree Jackson. He's out in center, hitting leadoff. Trent Jenks is the designated hitter. In here in game number 1, he's 2. Aiden Gallagher's out in left in the 3 spot. And then Gino Savoca has been a solid staple there at the cleanup. He's over at second. Tyler Figueroa's in right in the 5 hole, with Joe Carpier's hitting 6 over at short. Nick Galello is in that extra hitter spot, something Glens Falls loves to use. Jackson Mueller's down there at 8. Joe Haynes, the catcher, is at 9. And then hitting 10 is the third baseman, Enrique Diaz. On the mound for the Stallions is Charles Bautista. And Bautista so far this year, in 3 appearances and 5 and 2 innings pitched, has not given up a run. He's got a win to his name. He's walked 3 and he struck out 10. And he actually came into the game when Glens Falls beat Saugerties down in Cantine Veterans Memorial Field. He pitched 2 innings then, gave up just 1 hit, walked no one, and struck out 4. So the Stallions hoping for another performance similar to that, especially with today's shortened game. The first pitch to Tyree Jackson is outside. Ever since joining the Dragons, Jackson's made an immediate impact, hitting just 200, but got a couple stolen bases. It's his defense that's really played stellar. He watches the 1-0 outside. You won't see it pop up on the stat sheet for Tyree Jackson. Only those 2 hits, you might think it's not so stellar, but only 2 strikeouts as well. It's the 11 putouts in the range he covers in center that's valuable. As Bautista misses a breaking ball upstairs, and the first batter of the game has drawn a 3-0 count. Gotta wonder if the 96-degree weather here in Glens Falls is going to cause some fatigue, especially early on, to some of these players. The 3-0 pitch from Bautista is in there for a strike. Jackson thought it was ball 4 low in the zone. Went to go take the leg guard off. The home plate umpire says no thank you. Now the count's 3-1. The pitch. In there for strike 2. And now Bautista's worked his way back full. Bautista comes set. The payoff pitch is popped up on the infield. Over comes the shortstop Z. He settles underneath it and brings it in for out number 1. So Tyree Jackson made Bautista earn his first out and does so with a pop-up straight to the shortstop. So now in steps the designated hitter Trent Jenks, who leads the Dragons in batting average so far this season. He's got a .433 with a team leading 3 doubles. He's also got a team leading 7 runs. He watches the first pitch outside. Jenks, when he's on the base pass, is not afraid to go. He's got 5 stolen bases this year, but he's been caught 3 times. So aggressive out there if he can get on. There's the 1-0. There's a little breaking ball nicks the outside half. The first time Saugerties has returned here to East Field since the opening game back on May 31st. That pitch misses inside, gets past the catcher Logan Sanchez. So count is now 2-1. Speaking of the defense, how about we run you through it real quick? Again, Logan Sanchez, he's behind the plate. Around the infield is the third baseman, Casey Kaminsky. Then over there at short, it's Jamie Z. Reese Maroney's over at second, and then Dylan Passo is over at first. Around the outfield, it's Cameron Carroll in left, Luis Rodriguez in center, and Travis Haben-Siefken out in right. Jinx took a big cut there. Comes up empty-handed, so the count evens at 2 apiece. Jinx has a couple of words for the home plate umpire before getting back set. The 2-2 from Batista is in there for strike 3. And Charles Bautista gets the first strikeout here today. Sends Trent Jinx down looking for the second out at the bottom of the first. So now in steps the left fielder, Aiden Gallagher. He had an excellent diving play to end the top of the first. Would love to put himself on offensively and continue his hot streak. He watches the first pitch inside. And Gallagher to start the season was a little bit further down in the lineup, but has earned his way to this 3-hole spot. And you can see it too with the numbers. 1 homer, a double. He's hitting .346 here in 2025. The 1-0. He takes a big cut right over the top of it. Arguably the more impressive thing with Gallagher, though, he's got 8 walks this year to only 7 strikeouts. And when he gets on base, he's perfect. 6 for 6 on stolen base attempts. That one nicks the outside half, and now the count is 1-2. The 1-2 bounced in the dirt. So second inning in a row, the 3-hole hitter has had 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. In the top of the first, it ended with a line out to left. Bautista delivers. This 2-2 popped up foul, and we'll replay. Batista delivers the 2-2. Runs inside and nails Aiden Gallagher in the back. He immediately holds his lower area. Takes his time. He walks down to first base. Gallagher almost turned into it. Standard reaction there, but it was out of the hands of Bautista. Awkward the whole time. So now there's a 2-out base runner after Aiden Gallagher is hit by a pitch. And in steps Gino Savoca, a guy that's known for the theatrics. Gino Savoca came up hero the last time the Dragons were here at East Field. He watches the first pitch outside. And after the game, the players were joking about sometimes you need to be at your worst to be at your best, because in that game, in the what would have been the top of the 8th, Savoca watches that one in there for a strike. He committed an error that resulted in the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs, scoring 2 runs and then tying the game. That's how he started the top of the 8th. But then in the bottom of the 8th, he delivered a key 2-out double that brought around the go-ahead run. Ended up being the winning run after the game was canceled due to lightning. Savoca watches a breaking ball in there for strike 2, and so now the count becomes 1-2. 2 down here with Gallagher standing on first. Batista shakes, checks over with Gallagher twice, and comes set. Gallagher fakes the go off. The 1-2 is lined straight up the middle. Over comes Marooney. He grabs it, flips it over, and it's in time. A close bang-bang play from Marooney to Z at second, but it gets Gallagher in the process. So we head to the top of the second, and the 2-out base runner is pointless as the Dragons look to continue their pitching perfection over the last couple of days. We're back at East Field in a 0-0 ball game as we enter the top of the second. Leading off this second frame for the Saugerties Stallions will be their right fielder and big-time slugger, Travis Hobbins-Siefket. The first pitch he sees runs up inside, almost nails him. Mentioned it earlier, of Hobbins-Siefken's 2 home runs here in 2025, one of them came against the Dragons. It was down at Kansine Field in Saugerties, however. It's the 1-0. He takes a big cut at, hits it hard, gets it to bounce through the fence and over to the bleachers. An aggressive swing from the right fielder. So the 1-1 is chopped on the ground. This one hit pretty much the same spot, just not nearly as hard. Bounced up and over in fence and hit off the first row of the bleachers. So now it's a 1-2 count. McMahon delivers. That one nicks the outside corner, and it's the first strikeout for Colin McMahon. He sends down Travis Hobbins-Siefken looking. So now in steps the shortstop, Jamie Z. And you look at Jamie Z's stat line, you'd say it's a pretty standard one. He's hitting .286 so far. He's got 2 doubles, a home run to his name. He watches the first pitch high. 4 strikeouts, 3 walks. Had on 3 stolen bases. Seems like a pretty traditional stat line to you. But that average in that spot, that puts him at about 7th on this Saugerties Stallions team, as he's worked his way early into a 2-0 count. So that just shows the depth of what this Saugerties Stallions team can do, and you can see it especially in a couple of the wins that they've gotten lately, like taking down Amsterdam 10-9 to start this week. That one's chopped on the ground over to Diaz. He fields it cleanly, throws over to Mueller at first, and gets Z on the run. So another weak ground ball from Colin McMahon makes it 5 up, 5 down to start the game, with Logan Sanchez coming to the dish. And it looks like there might be something a little different with Logan Sanchez today. Normally he wears the patented yellow arm sleeve, yellow accessories as he takes a look at the first pitch strike. But today it seems like he still has the yellow cleats on, but instead it's a yellow and red leg protector, a yellow and red elbow protector, and then a red arm sleeve as that one gets away from Haynes behind the dish because it was bounced in the dirt. So maybe a little switch up for Logan Sanchez, trying to create and formulate some more offense, but no need really to when he's hitting .345 on the season. He's only got one extra base hit, though. As he grounds that one over to Savoca at second. He can't field it cleanly, and it bounces off his leg. So Sanchez will reach safely, and we'll see if that one gets booked as an error. Instead of trying to get in front of it and take it off the chest, Savoca flipped his glove and tried to backhand it while standing over top of it. Instead, that results in a 2-out base runner in the first time today that we're going to see Colin McMahon work out of the stretch. His first pitch to Dylan Passo gets away from Haynes behind the plate, and Sanchez will gladly make his way up to second. So now, just like that, there's a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. And Dylan Passo's at the plate, who is one of really the only few players in this Saugerties lineup to say they're having a below par 2025. So far, Passo's hitting just .188. He's 3 for 16. But he's only got 1 strikeout. The 1-1 is popped up. This one into center field. Jackson's got to trail over to his right quite a ways, but he'll easily get there. The speed in center plays useful once again, and the 2-out base runner is proven mute. This game stays scoreless. Another pitcher's duel here at East Field is brewing as we head to the bottom of the second. We're back at East Field, where there's a new pitcher on the mound for the Saugerties Stallions. That puts an early end to the day of Charles Bautista. He goes just 1 inning pitched. Struck out 1, though, allowed no runs. No hits as well, and walked no one. The new pitcher is Keller Osbin. He puts the first pitch in the ground for ball 1. So far here in 2025, that one misses outside. Osbin's got a 2.25 ERA, but he's appeared in only 1 game. In that game, though, he did start. He pitched 4 innings and ended up getting the win. As the count to the hitter, Tyler Figueroa, has quickly ballooned to 3-0. That one nips the zone. And this first at-bat for Keller Osbin looks eerily similar to the first at-bat for Charles Bautista. The difference is that Tyler Figueroa draws the leadoff walk and makes it an early base runner here in the bottom of the second. So now in steps Joe Carpier's, who's over at short today. Carpier's hitting just 200 on the year. Takes a big cut there. Been pretty even in the strikeout to walk ratio. 7 Ks, 7 walks. As they're going to quickly check on Figueroa over at first, he gets back cleanly. Valid reason to check on Figueroa. He's got 2 stolen bases this year, but he's been caught twice as well. The 0-1 was well upstairs. Sanchez did an excellent job to pop up and grab it before it headed to the backstop. The 1-1, it nicks the inside corner. Carpier is not happy about it at all. And now he finds himself in a 2-strike count. It's 1-2 with Figueroa over at first. The 1-2 chopped on the ground over to Z at short. He flips to Maroney at second. The throw to first is in time. And the leadoff base runner is put to bed. It's a 6-4-3 double play. And just like that, the Stallions have reset it. So now in steps the extra hitter, Nick Galello. He's first pitch swinging. That one a mile high. It'll go on to shallow center field. Rodriguez comes in, settles under it, and brings it in for out number 3. So the Dragons had that leadoff base runner, but a double play makes it mute. It's still scoreless as we head to the top of the 3rd here at East Field. We're back here at East Field in a 0-0 ball game as we start the top of the third. It'll be 8, 9, and 1 for the Stallions. Led off by the third baseman, Casey Kaminsky. Takes a big cut there, but comes up empty-handed. So far, Kaminsky is hitting 140 as that one's lined back at McMahon. Hits off his glove, who comes up, delivers a beam over to Jackson Mueller at first, and then gives the thumbs up to the dugout that says, "I'm all right." That ball was rocketed off the bat of Kaminsky, and it looked like it hit the glove hand of Colin McMahon. So he looks to shake it off. We'll see if he ends up being all right. But he picks up a quick and not so easy out number 1 in the top of the third. The first pitch to Ryan King is upstairs for ball 1. And this is the first at-bat of 2025 for Ryan King. He watches that one low in the dirt for ball 2. King, he's a 5'9" infielder out of the University of Rhode Island. As he pops up the 2-0 out into the right center field gap. Over goes the right fielder Figueroa, who calls off Tyree Jackson to bring in out number 2. So Colin McMahon is making quick work of this Saugerties lineup as it turns over for Luis Rodriguez. The first pitch to Rodriguez is a big breaking ball in there for strike 1. Rodriguez grounded out to Gino Savoca his first time up. Savoca was accounted for that error back in the second inning, as the 0-1 is chopped off foul straight back. So now the count's quickly 0-2 to Luis Rodriguez. The 0-2 upstairs. You heard the head coach for Glens Falls, Ryan Dio, just scream out from the dugout, "Don't overthrow the ball." The 1-2 from McMahon is bounced in the dirt. Did look like on that last one, after being told not to overthrow the ball, McMahon did the quite exact opposite. But he likes to take his time, worked his way into a pitcher's count. The 2-2 runs inside and nails Rodriguez. So from an 0-2 count to a 2-2 count, and then a hit by pitch, puts a very speedy base runner on the base paths, even with 2 outs. Speedy might be an understatement. In 13 games, Rodriguez has got 19 stolen bases. As they go check on him over at first. No, that was not me misspeaking. That is correct. In 19 games, Luis Rodriguez has got 19 stolen bases. He's been caught just once. As he fakes off, McMahon throws over again, but not nearly in time. Rodriguez was back by 3/4 of a step. That hit by pitch, by the way, also was the 8th of the year for Luis Rodriguez, the most of anybody on the team. He's on the move to second And that's almost a given at this point. He takes the extra 90 feet to put himself in scoring position. With Cameron Carroll at the plate. Carroll so far this year, he's got just 3 RBIs, but he's played in just 3 games. So the Stallions would love for another big hit from Cameron Carroll. Watches that one inside for ball 1. So the count evens at 1 apiece. Rodriguez dancing around at second. McMahon taking his time looking at him. The 1-1. It's fouled off. Out of play over the bleachers. So now the count's 1-2. And McMahon might strand the speediest base runner in the PGCBL on the bases. The 1-2 just missed the outside corner. So the count becomes 2-2. Mentioned Rodriguez's 20th stolen base. Yeah, that leads the PGCBL by 5. 5 more stolen bags than the next closest guy. The 2-2 from McMahon is lined out into right field. Figueroa comes in a couple steps, but settles underneath it. And McMahon strands Rodriguez. So much danger with that much speed. What's seemingly so close to home, yet the score stays where it's at. The pitcher's duel continues here at East Field. Will it continue in the bottom of the 3rd? Welcome back to Glens Falls, New York, where the Dragons, they're tied with the Stallions. It's 0-0 as we enter the bottom of the 3rd. It'll be 8, 9, and 10 for Glens Falls. It's led off by the first baseman, Jackson Mueller. The first pitch he sees, it's outside for ball 1. Keller Ashburn goes back out there for his 2nd inning of work as he finds the outside half for strike 1. Mueller has some words for the home plate umpire. The 1-1 almost nails Mueller in the head, but he gets out of the way. Mueller always wearing that purple helmet, the purple batting glove, supporting the University of Albany. Another pitch on the outside corner for strike 2. You'll hear often that it's a great day to be a Great Dane, but not so much when it's 96 degrees. We're nearing the triple digits. The 2-2's well outside. So now the count draws full. Osmond shakes off 3 straight pitches before he decides to come set. The payoff pitch is right down Broadway. And Mueller didn't like it. He thought it might have been a little inside. Instead, it's the first strikeout for Keller Osborne. As Joe Haynes steps to the dish. The first pitch is in there for a strike. Haynes, he's starting just his 5th game so far this season, but he's been with the squad since the beginning. Really, it's been a rotation of catchers behind the plate as that one misses outside for ball 1. Between Brendan McLaughlin, Joe Haynes, and Ryan Jones, they've all taken their fair share, but Haynes is the only one that's seen real consistent offensive success as that one's lined back towards the pitcher Osmond. He flips it over to the fourth baseman Passo and gets the easy 1-3 out. So both squads' pitching staff doing all the heavy lifting here early. As Enrique Diaz steps into the plate. Another guy that's been in and out of this Dragons lineup as he takes a big cut there. Diaz, defensively at times, has been seen as somewhat of a liability. Made some questionable plays over at third. Offensively, though, has seen some success. He's got 7 hits this season. He's hitting .219. The poor part is he's got a 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. This 0-2 count doesn't look like it's going to help those numbers. The pitch. It's chopped on the ground over towards the shortstop Z. Fields it, throws, almost bounced in the dirt, but Passo went down and grabbed it. And it's 3 up, 3 down for Osmond, who's making quick work of the Dragons. No offense so far today as we head to the 4th inning. Who's going to strike first here at East Field? It's the heart of the Stallions lineup as we get set in this scoreless game to start the top of the 4th. The first pitch from Colin McMahon to Reese Maroney's well upstairs for ball 1. Maroney flew out to left field and arguably you could say was robbed thanks to a diving play from Aiden Gallagher. The 1-0 is in there. Counts even at 1-1. The 1-1. Nicks the outside corner for strike 2. And Maroney doesn't look too happy, but just ended up shaking his head at the home plate umpire and decided to step back in there. No words came out of his mouth. So now the 1-2. Runs inside, almost nails Maroney. Haynes did a good job to catch that one in the air. As the count becomes 2-2. The 2-2 is a breaking ball, just missed outside. You hear some groans from the fans here at Eastfield. Thought that one might have caught the corner, but it makes the count full for the leadoff hitter in the top of the fourth. The 3-2 from McMahon is popped up out into center field. Over goes Jackson for out number one. It makes those plays look effortless when they're hit on a line like that. But either way, it's been an efficient day today for Colin McMahon. The defense has worked to perfection. As in steps the big slugger, Travis Hobbins-Siefken. The first pitch he sees, he lines it out to left field. Gallagher takes a couple steps back, but he'll be right there to bring it in. And 2 pitches result in 2 outs here in the top of the fourth. Hobbins-Siefken is the only strikeout of the day for McMahon. Apart from that, every other out has come via a ground out or a fly out. Pitching to contact and trusting the defense has been what Colin McMahon has done. In steps Jamie Z. The first pitch he sees is upstairs. Nobody has walked either, apart from the hit by pitch that McMahon had to Luis Rodriguez to start or halfway through the third inning, as the 1-0 is outside. The 2-0. That one's lined well into deep left field, but it's going to be foul. And that ball landed on the other side of the street. There's a driveway and a house that sits right along the foul pole here at Eastfield. And that ball landed just left of the driveway. A nice little souvenir for the household out there. But a big, long, and loud strike one for Colin McMahon. The 2-1, this one's lined into right field. It gets down for a base knock. Figueroa fields it cleanly and gets it in quickly to hold Z at first. That's the first base hit of the day for either squad. But it comes with 2 outs here in the top of the first, and Logan Sanchez coming to the plate. Jamie Z had that loud foul ball, pulled it right along the line, and then takes the very next pitch and pushes it the other way. The first pitch to Logan Sanchez is hit on the ground over to Carpier's. The flip to Savoca at second makes that 2-out base knock mean nothing. Colin McMahon continues to force weak contact from the Stallions, and he's been clean through 4. Can the offense get him some help as we head to the bottom half? We have reached the halfway point here at East Field. That's right. We enter the bottom of the fourth, but it's halfway due to the 7-inning rule in today's doubleheader. Leading it off for the Dragons will be the top of their lineup in Tyree Jackson. He drew a full count his first time up, but then ended up popping out to the shortstop, Jamie Z. Keller Osmond goes back out there, waits for his right fielder, Travis Hobbins-Siefkin, to come set, and delivers the first pitch low for ball one. First hit of the game came in the top half of the inning with Jamie Z's 2-out base knock. And that's essentially been it for either squad. No more offense. Pitchers duel only. The 2-0 runs inside, almost nails Jackson. The count becomes 3-0. Very similar to how Jackson's first at-bat went. He had a 3-0 count, then it became a 3-2, and then he popped out. As that one misses low, guess the count wasn't 3-0. So now the pitch is outside, and now Jackson will take his way down to first base. So the leadoff walk to a speedy guy on first brings in Trent Jakes, who's used to the big moments. Jenks has got 4 RBIs so far this year. That's second on the squad. And he's also got 3 doubles. Another one of those, and it's more than likely going to bring Jackson around. They're going to check on him over at first, but he's going to get back in there with ease. Understandably, a reason to want to check on Jackson. So far, he's got just 2 stolen bases, but he's only attempted 2 so far. It would be surprising if he doesn't attempt one here. That one runs inside and nails Jenks. So Jackson doesn't even have to attempt a stolen bag as he works his way down to second thanks to the Trent Jenks hit by pitch. And now there's 2 runners on with nobody out. And Aiden Gallagher coming to the dish. Another guy who played a little bit of heroics a couple of games ago where he hit a home run. As they're going to give Jenks some time because that one ran inside. It hit him just above the elbow protector. So give Jenks some time to actually settle in, make sure that arm feels okay. As the field umpire and Keller Osmond had a little conversation behind the mound. So Jackson stands on second. Jenks stands on first. Gallagher is in the box. Osmond comes set, delivers. His first pitch nips the inside corner. Almost hit the back leg of Gallagher, but called strike 1 anyways. The 0-1, well upstairs. Wind today is blowing out towards left field. That's a big reason why the loud foul ball from Jamie Z in the top half ended up going foul. But not a whole ton of wind here on this scorching day in Glens Falls. The 1-1 is swung on and missed. Gallagher was trying to send that one to the same spot Z put his. Instead, it becomes a 2-strike count. Ryan Dio gives his sign. Osmond comes set, delivers. The breaking ball missed well upstairs. You'll see Glens Falls Dragons head coach Ryan Dio do this often. With these 2 runners on, he'll get almost onto the dirt along the third baseline, and he has a very stoic stance as he stays there. The 2-2 is in there for strike three. Gallagher, not happy, looks towards the home plate umpire and walks back in despair. So he goes down looking. It's the second K of the day for Keller Osmond. And now there's one down here in the bottom of the fourth with 2 runners on. Gino Savoca steps to the dish, and he knows how to play hero. He grounded into a fielder's choice his last time up. That one bounced in the dirt. Osmond's taking his time. The 1-0 nicks the outside corner. Savoca not too happy about it. Takes a step out and he'll reset with the count being 1-1. No one's holding Tyree Jackson over at second on. Z is a little bit shaded, but not really attempting to be held on at all. As the 1-1 runs inside, almost nails Savoca. But the count becomes 2-1. So again, it's Jackson on second. Jenks stands on first. Gallagher went down looking for out number 1, which has brought up the cleanup hitter, Gino Savoca. They're going to check on Jackson at second, but nobody was home. Osmond went to turn around and throw. And had he let go of the ball, Tyree Jackson might have stole his way up into third. So a heads-up play from Keller Osmond to keep that ball in his back pocket. The 2-1 is popped up foul out of play over the left side bleachers. Last time out here at home, Savoca was the hero. Came up big in the bottom of the 8th. It may not be the same inning, but it seems like whichever two of these squads is going to come around and score first is going to win, as the 2-1 misses well outside. So now the count draws full. To Savoca. Osmond comes set. Takes a look at Jackson at Seckers, and the payoff is swung on and missed. Savoca went out his shoes on a pitch outside the zone and goes down swinging on strikes. So important back-to-back strikeouts for Keller Osmond. Brings up Tyler Figueroa with a heck of a lot less pressure than before. The first pitch to Figueroa bounced in the dirt. The 1-0. Lined through the infield on the left-hand side. They're going to send Jackson towards home. The relay, it's off center. And it's an RBI single for Tyler Figueroa. Just like that, the Dragons strike first. They lead this ball game 1-0 here in the bottom of the 4th. Ryan Dio waited as long as he could before he decided to send Tyree Jackson, but with that much speed and an errant throw, it was easy money. The first pitch to Joe Carpier's nicks the bottom of the zone. So now the situation stays the same, but the Dragons have jumped out in front. It's 1-0 Glens Falls, with Jenks on second, Figueroa on first. The 0-1's well outside. The 1-1 nicks the outside corner. Carpier's kind of slumps his body language, a little confused. Either way, he's got a runner in scoring position. He's only got one RBI this season, so nothing better or not a better time to add number 2 in 2025. The 1-2, that one's chopped foul out of play. So we'll redo the 1-2 pitch. Osmond gets the sign, comes set. Takes one look at second and delivers, and it's swung on and missed. So all 3 outs come via the strikeout for Keller Osmond. But it's not before a run comes around to score, and the Dragons, they jump out on top. It's 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left on. Glens Falls hopes the pitching staff can keep it locked down as we head to the final 3 frames here in Game 1 of this doubleheader. We're back at East Field with Glens Falls holding a 1-run advantage over Saugerties. There's a new pitcher on the mound for the Dragons. It's Michael Sweeney. That means Colin McMahon's day comes to an end, and an excellent day it was. The first pitch from Sweeney is lined out into left field. Gallagher easily gets over and brings it in and makes quick work of Dylan Passo for out number 1. Wasted no time as Michael Sweeney. He brings in the first out. I was mentioning the ending line for Colin McMahon. It was 4 innings pitched, gave up just 1 hit, no earned runs. Nobody walked. He struck out 1. He was just forcing a lot of contact. The first pitch to Casey Kaminsky runs inside for ball 1. And that one nicks the outside half. Sweeney's appeared in just 1 game this year. He started it, did not get the decision as he went 3 1/3. That one's lined out to center. Jackson barely has to move, turns around a couple times, but brings it in. 2 flyouts to start the day for Michael Sweeney. Results in 2 early outs with the 9-hole hitter Ryan King to the dish. King flew out to right field his time and his last time up back in the 3rd inning. Michael Sweeney has caused flyouts to left and 1 to center, so maybe A fly out to right is in Sue. The first pitch, it's along the outside half. In there for a strike. In those 3 1/3 innings Michael Sweeney pitched, he gave up just 3 hits, allowed just one run. It wasn't earned. Didn't strike anybody out, though. The bigger problem was the 5 free passes. Ultimately didn't turn around to bite him, as he didn't allow anything more than the 1 run, as he's now worked it to a 1-2 count here on Ryan King. The 1-2 from Sweeney is lined out into right field over the head of Savoca and down for a base knock. So Sweeney got 2 quick outs, but it didn't stop the 9-hole hitter from getting on base. And now the lineup turns over into a dangerous lineup that can explode at any time. So in steps Luis Rodriguez, who was hit by a pitch back in the third, ended up stealing his way to second, but was stranded there. The first pitch he sees goes over the head of Haynes behind the dish, and King is going to work his way up into scoring position with arguably the hottest hitter in the PGCBL at the plate. Despite being 0 for 1 today, Luis Rodriguez, he's coming off that player of the week, 10 for 14 last couple of games. The 1-0 pitch overthrown in the dirt for ball 2. Sweeney checks at second and delivers the 2-0. Almost runs inside and nails Rodriguez again. The count becomes 3-0, and this is where Sweeney has lost a couple of hitters before. I mentioned those 5 walks in 3 1/3 inning. Not something you can do to this dangerous Saugerties lineup. The 3-0 is a breaking ball in there for a strike. Interesting to see Sweeney go to the off-speed pitch when he needs to get one across. Very similar to Xavier Garcia, who would throw a couple of those in there for the Dragons as well. Trusts that pitch more than anything else. The 3-1 to Rodriguez, another breaking ball, bounces away from Haynes. Instead, King's going to go over to third. And now another wild pitch has put runners on the corners with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. With how much speed Luis Rodriguez has over at first, I'd be very surprised if he wasn't first pitch running towards second. Even with 2 outs, he's got the speed, and he's off on the first pitch. Haynes makes sure he seals the first pitch strike. Rodriguez nabs his second base of the game, increases his league-leading stolen base total to 21. But now there's a pair of runners in scoring position with 2 dead. The 0-1 runs inside, almost nails Cameron Carroll. Carroll's 0 for 2 today. He's flown out to right, and he grounded out to first. The 1-1 is swung on and missed. Haynes keeps it in front of him. Does a really good job to prevent that ball from getting by. The count becomes 1-2. So now Sweeney is just 1 pitch away from getting out of a tough jam after the offense went out and put up a big run. The 1-2 from Sweeney. Upstairs. Joe Haynes did a really good job to try to frame that one down, get it into that outside, that up and outside corner. But instead it puts deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. The pitch is lined out into right field. In comes Figueroa, and it gets down for a base knock. The throw at the plate, cut off by Mueller, and no attempt at home. It's an RBI single for Cameron Mueller. And when the Dragons put one up, the Stallions respond with two. They now lead it 2-1 here in the top of the fifth. So now in steps the three-hole hitter. Carroll's on the run. The throw down from Haynes nails him. So Carroll runs off a little confused with the sign. Not too happy about the call. But after the single from Carroll brings around two, he gets gunned at second. Now the Dragons, they need to respond. They've got 3 innings to do so. Will they be able to do it? You won't want to go anywhere. We'll find out here at East Field. We're back at East Field as we enter the bottom of the fifth, and the Dragons now trail the Stallions 2-1 after that top of the fifth. Nick Galello takes a big cut at the first pitch he sees. Keller Osmond back out there for his 4th inning of work. Charles Bautista came in as the opener and said it's been the Osmond show ever since, as Galello takes another big cut trying to tie this game up with one swing. Instead digs himself an 0-2 hole. The pitch on the outside. Galello so far today, he's 0 for 1, flew out to center his first time up as he fouls that one out of play and back towards the parking lot. So it's 7, 8, and 9 for the Dragons to try to formulate some more offense as Galello just fouls that one off. Was well in front of the pitch, but got the end of the bat to it. The 1-2 is swung on and missed. It's been 4 strikeouts in the last 5 batters for Keller Osmond. He's been locked down as Jackson Mueller steps to the plate. Mueller was the first of those 5 Ks back in the 3rd inning. The first pitch misses inside. Osmond comes set. The 1-0 is swung on and missed. The Dragons are swinging out their shoes here in the bottom of the 5th. They're trying to tie this game back up just as quickly as the Stallions did. The 1-1 is a curveball blasted out to left field. It looks like it's going to get over the head of Carroll, and it does. 2 hops towards the fence. Mueller is going to round his way into second, take a nice little turn, but he'll stay standing. And it's a 1-out double for Jackson Mueller. That puts a runner in scoring position, and maybe the Dragons start to roll. How about the first double of the year for Nick Galello? Blast that one right over the head of Cameron Carroll out there in left. And now Joe Haynes has got a chance to pick up an RBI. He checks his swing, does not go around. Haynes so far this year has got just 1 RBI, but again, it's limited playing time as he watches that one outside for ball 2. The 2-0 is low. Now the count is 3-0. Waiting in the on-deck circle is Enrique Diaz. He grounded out to the shortstop his last time up. The 3-0 nicks the outside corner for strike 1. Osmond comes set. The 3-1's fouled straight back. So the count draws full to Joe Haynes, with Jackson Mueller standing at second. The payoff pitch is chopped on the ground over to the third baseman, Kaminsky. He fields it cleanly, delivers a strike to first. They try to back check at Mueller at second, but he gets back in there safely. So the first out from third to first is clean. And now Mueller stays stranded at second with Enrique Diaz coming to the plate. Diaz, again, grounded out to short his first time up as he watches that one inside for ball 1. That one misses low for ball 2. Osmond comes set. The 2-0. Well outside. It's another 3-0 count for Keller Osmond. Gotta wonder whether or not the command, maybe the heat is getting to him. No movement over in the Saugerties bullpen. The 3-0 is in there for a strike. And Diaz decides he's going to take a timeout. Maybe a little bit of cat and mouse between Diaz and Osmond. The 3-1 is inside for ball 4. So Enrique Diaz will take his free pass down to first base. That puts 2 runners on with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. And now they're going to have a conversation with Keller Osmond on the mound. It's now the top of the lineup for the Dragons. It's Tyree Jackson, who drew a walk his last time up in the top of the 4th. That's what started that run that put Glens Falls in front. So you saw the head coach for Saugerties, Colin Martin, go out and have a word with his pitcher and both the catcher Logan Sanchez as well. So Tyree Jackson will settle into the batter's box. He's 0 for 1 today with a walk and a run. That one runs inside, almost nails Jackson for ball 1. The 1-0 is popped up out into left field. Carroll's rolling back. Got to go almost towards the track, but settles under it for out number 3. So some danger for Keller Osmond. He escapes it. The Stallions maintain their 1-run advantage and look to keep it clean through the final 2 innings here at East Field. Welcome back to East Field as we enter the top of the 6th in this 2-1 ball game with Saugerties in front. Joining me up here in the booth is Luke LaRose. We're back together as we enter the last 2 innings of this ball game. Again, I'm Nathaniel Cunningham, and Luke, it really was a pitcher's duel to start.
Yeah, catch me up.
But the bottom of the 4th and the beginning of the 5th is when we finally got some offense. Glens Falls struck first, really large in part due to Tyree Jackson leading off that 4th inning, but then this Saugerties lineup, as they always do, ends up scoring 2 in the top of the 5th, and that's how they hold their 1-run advantage. A new pitcher on the mound for the Dragons. It's Ethan Nardacci. It ends Michael Sweeney's day after just an inning, where he gave up 2 hits and he walked, didn't strike out anybody, and gave up 2 runs. So Nardacci's got to face the heart of this Stallions lineup, led off by Reese Maroney, who's in an early 0-2 count thanks to a called strike and then that foul ball straight back. Maroney so far today is 0 for 2. He's got 2 flyouts, 1 to left and 1 to center. So making good swings on the ball, just hasn't been able to find some of that green grass. The 0-2 is a breaking ball. This one out to right. Over goes Figueroa straight back. Almost slips, but is able to settle underneath it. So just like that, Maroney has got himself a trifecta of fly balls, 1 to each part of the outfield. But it's an early and quick out number 1 for the new pitcher in Ethan Nardacci. So now in steps Travis Hobbins-Siefken, who watches the first pitch bounced in the dirt. And I mentioned how potent this Stallions offense was, Luke. Travis Hobbins-Siefken, the only batter so far today to go down with a strikeout for the Stallions. So that just doesn't tell you that they've been putting the ball in play. It just necessarily hasn't found some of that free space. That should be the definition. The 1-1 is foul tipped into the glove of Joe Haynes for strike 2. The 1-2 from Nardacci tries to get one on the outside corner. Haynes gives him the look of approval. The umpire disagrees. So the count will even at 2 apiece. We're here in the top of the 6th. As the 2-2 bounced in the dirt, Haynes asks if he went. The field umpire says he did not. So now it's a full count to Travis Hobbins-Siefken. Nardacci comes set. The payoff. It gets away from Joe Haynes, and Hobbins-Siefken will walk his way down to first. It's just the second walk for Saugerties, but it puts a base runner on with 1 dead here in the top of the 6th. So now in steps the shortstop, Jamie Z. He's 1 for 2. He had the first hit of the day for the Stallions. That was back in the 4th. It came with 2 outs, though, as he got caught in a fielder's choice. The first pitch is on the outside half. Z and Hobbins-Siefken getting their signs from the third base coach. Hobbins-Siefken's got 10 stolen bags to his name, so not crazy to see him want to take off and steal an extra 90 feet. Hobbins-Siefken fakes the go-off, gets Nardacci confused, tries to get him the balk, but he stays pretty solid. Hobbins-Siefken's 10 stolen bases, yeah, that's 4th best in the PGCBL. As the 1-1's well upstairs. Crazy to think about the fact that Hobbins-Siefken, who has 10 stolen bases, which most would say is pretty impressive, looks mute when you see Luis Rodriguez's 21 stolen bags. As Hobbins-Siefken is on the move on the pitch, he's going to get in there. He's trying to keep up with his teammate. He steals second and puts himself in scoring position. Yes, that was not a mistake. He had 19 coming into the day, and he's got 2 stolen bases already. As that one's lined down the right field line, but it curves foul, and it will land foul.
It's kind of a hot day to be stealing 2 bags.
Well, with that much speed, if you're Luis Rodriguez, it makes it look effortless. Both those stolen bases, he popped up on second base what felt like before the ball was really thrown his direction. The guy's got wheels. It's as simple as that. The 2-2. They're going to say it was in the dirt, and the field umpire says he does not go around.
Yeah, last time we saw him, I think we were both really impressed with him.
Well, he pretty much has got a stolen base in every game so far this season because he's only played in 13. So this is game number 14, and it's stolen base number 21 for Luis Rodriguez. The 3-2 to Jamie Z is outside, and now Ethan Nardacci's getting a little wild. He puts a runner on for the second free pass. and Logan Sanchez steps into the plate. Sanchez also 0 for 2, reached via an error and then grounded into a fielder's choice. The first pitch he sees, checks his swing. They're going to ask if he went around, but he did not. So it's Hobbin-Siefken on second. Z stands on first. The 1-0 is in there for a strike. The 1-1, chopped on the ground off to the left side. It's along the line, and it gets fouled. What a heads-up play from Enrique Diaz. It would have been tough to get any of the runners at any base, given how that ball was hit. So Enrique Diaz waited for it to knock foul, and instead everybody has to go back, and the count now sits at 1-2.
We've been critical of his defense all year long, but that was a pretty good play.
So now the count sits at 1-2 with one down here in the top of the sixth. Narjachi is set. Keeps checking at Hobbin-Siefken and delivers. That pitch bounced in the dirt. Haynes did a great job keeping it in front. Count evens at 2 apiece. Despite the 96-degree weather here at Glens Falls, Joe Haynes behind home plate has been absolutely stellar. As that one's chopped on the ground, this one over to the shortstop Carpierre. Slips to Savoca at first to get the force out, who doesn't even try to get Sanchez at first. So it's another fielder's choice for Logan Sanchez that forces Jamie Z out at second. But now there sits 2 outs with runners on the corners and Dylan Passo coming to the plate. Passo's also 0 for 2 on the day with a fly out to center back in the second and then a fly out to left to lead off the fifth. He watches the first pitch for a ball. The 1-0 is swung on and missed. The 1-1. Haynes tried to steal a strike. The home plate umpire's not having it. So count becomes 2-1. Hobbin-Siefken advanced to third on the fielder's choice. Sanchez reached because of it. The 2-1 is chopped on the ground. Again, the same spot over to Carpierre at short. Flipped over to Savoca at second for out number 3. So the Dragons, despite a lot of base runners, keep it clean in the top of the sixth. And they've got 6 outs to go to try to get 1 run and tie this game up. Will they be able to do it? We're back at East Field, where Keller Osmond's day for Saugerties has come to an end. After 4 innings of work, he gave up just 2 hits, allowed 1 run, walked 2, and struck out 5. He is a big reason why the Stallions are on front, thanks to their offense playing incredibly well and giving him the lead. So now, taking over on the mound is Gregory Bruno, who's appeared in 3 games so far this season, and he's got a 0 ERA. Has yet to give up a run in 5 2/3 innings of work. He's walked just 1 and struck out 10. He's given up just 3 hits. Has been stellar for the Stallions. But his first pitch to the middle part of this lineup in Trent Jenks is low for ball 1. Jenks so far 0 for 1 with the day, but he was hit back in the 4th. The 1-0 pitch is outside for ball 2. The seating here at East Field starting to fill out. People getting done with work and joining us for this doubleheader as that one's lined right past the first baseman, Passo, and into right field for a base knock. So it's a leadoff single for Trent Jenks. That puts a runner on, and the Dragons, they're starting to roll. Aiden Gallagher steps into the box. He's 0 for 1 today. Also was hit. That was back in the 1st, but went down looking in the 4th. The first pitch he sees is on the outside half. Mentioned it earlier, but Jenks has got some speed over there at first. Not somebody to necessarily forget about. He's attempted 8 stolen bases, successfully grabbed 5. The 0-1 is bounced in the dirt. Count will even at 1 apiece. Bruno comes set, takes a look at Jenks, delivers the 1-1, is swung on and missed. Looked like a late swing from Aiden Gallagher. The 1-2 gets behind Sanchez as Jenks was off on the pitch. So he'll take the stolen bag in the extra 90 feet, puts himself in scoring position as the count evens at 2-2. A risky move from head coach Ryan Dio with 2 strikes to put the hit and run on.
It worked out regardless.
Nice move to put a runner in scoring position in Aiden Gallagher with a 2-2 count. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th. The pitch is chopped on the ground over to the third baseman, Kaminsky. A tough play over to first, and it's going to be in time to get the runner. But Jenks will get over. So it looked like Gallagher took maybe a little bit off of it, hustling down the line. But instead, the sacrifice works because now the runner stands at third with Gino Savoca at the plate, and he could play hero ball once more.
It did that the other night.
The first pitch he sees runs inside, almost nails him for ball 1. So the infield for Saugerties is in. They're trying to protect this 1-run lead. They feel like they've earned it on this 95-degree day here in Glens Falls. The 1-0 bounced in the dirt. Savoca did a good job to let Jenks know to stay back as the count becomes 2-0. Savoca so far today, 0 for 2, was on the bad part of a fielder's choice, and then struck out swinging. The 2-0 is a big cut. Savoca almost swings out of his shoes. He's got to step out of the box, reset the batting gloves. This is a spot, though, that Gino Savoca loves to be in because his 5 RBIs, that leads Glens Falls this season. Tied with the 3-hole hitter, Aiden Gallagher. The 2-1 is popped up. It'll get foul out of play over into the left-hand bleachers. So now the count's going to even at 2 apiece. Big count, big pitch for Gregory Bruno, big at bat for the hitter Gino Savoca. Bruno comes set, doesn't even really look at Jenks at third. The 2-2 is lined out into right field, and it's going to get down for a base knock. Gino Savoca has done it again. A base knockout into right field brings in the tying run, and Glens Falls, they've made this a game once more. It's 2-2 here in the bottom of the 6th.
What a piece of hitting by Savoca. Put the infield on the grass, just bloop a little one over their head to the gap.
These late inning heroics from Gino Savoca. Now it steps Tyler Figueroa. He watches the first pitch for a strike. It's a brand new ball game here in the bottom of the 6th. There's still only 1 out as Figueroa watches the 0-1 miss outside for ball 1. The 1-1 is outside. Now you wonder if Gregory Bruno's got it in him. He came into the game with a save opportunity. It has been blown. 2 big singles for the Dragons here in the bottom of the 6th. The 2-1 misses outside for ball 3. And you got some players just getting up and stretching for Saugerties in their bullpen.
I mean, you have to think this extreme heat does not help anything.
The 3-1 in the dirt for ball 4. So it'll be a 5-pitch walk to Tyler Figueroa. That puts 2 runners on with only 1 out. And Joe Carpier's coming to the plate. And just like that, there's going to be another conversation on the mound. Out comes the pitching coach for the Stallions as Logan Sanchez comes out there. And you can tell it might just be a conversation to calm down the pitcher's mind. And you make a good point. We've been feeling the heat up here in the press box. The fans down below, and I'm sure the players, are feeling this 95-degree weather. It is not slowed down. It is pumping. Not a cloud in the sky.
No, and it's kind of hard to focus when it's this hot, at least for me.
So now the first pitch to Joe Carpier's is upstairs. Gets past Sanchez behind the plate. Both runners will advance. And now there's 2 runners in scoring position with only 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. The wild pitch gives Carpier's an opportunity to play some hero ball of his own. The infield for the Stallions, it comes in again. The 1-0. Big cut, comes up empty-handed. Carpier's has got just one RBI here in 2025.
Decent opportunity, a really good opportunity to pick up one or two more, maybe.
The 1-1 is popped up. That'll get well out of play over towards the right-hand bleachers. Carpier's not at all happy. Feels like he just missed that one. So big pitch for Gregory Bruno. He comes set. Delivers the 1-2. Is upstairs. Again, with this doubleheader today, it's only a 7-inning game. If the Dragons can nab one more here, they only need to play the top half of the 7th. The 2-2 is popped up foul. Carpier's is fighting. So far here in the bottom of the 6th, the Dragons have had 2 singles, a walk, and 1 ground out. That's how we've gotten where we are. Savoca standing on 3rd, Figueroa on 2nd. Carpier's in the box with a 2-2 count. The pitch is chopped weakly over to the 3rd baseman. Savoca's going to come home and he's going to score. Kaminsky couldn't grab it on the bare hand. And just like that, the chopped base knock from Joe Carpier's picks up his 2nd RBI in 2025, and the Dragons jump back on top. They lead it 3-2 here in the bottom of the 6th.
That they put the infield back on the edge of the grass again. That almost played right into Saugerties' hands. Just couldn't come up with it. Would have been an easy play at 3rd, at home, I should say. Had Kaminsky grabbed that ball.
The heads-up play from Gino Savoca to be off on contact. As soon as he saw it bounced in the dirt, he was headed towards home. Now, in steps Nick Galello as that pitch gets over the head of Sanchez. It bounces right off the backstop, though, and so Sanchez was able to get it before Figueroa was able to read it and come home. Either way, Carpier's moves up the 90 feet on the wild pitch to 2nd. And so now there's 2 runners in scoring position with nobody out. 2 runs have already scored here in the bottom of the 6th. That infield comes back in for Saugerties as this one's lined out into the right center field gap. Over comes Hobbit-Siefken. He brings it in for out number 2. The throw towards 3rd to protect both runners advancing is collected, and Figueroa scores. Insurance is added here in the bottom of the 6th on the sacrifice fly from Nick Galello.
Another good piece of hitting by Glens Falls.
The bottom of the 6th, these pressure situations where we've seen Glens Falls crumble before, has instead resulted in success for the Dragons. They lead by 2 now. It's 4-2 here in the bottom of the 6th. Jackson Mueller stands in. The first pitch he sees is upstairs for ball 1. The 1-0 runs inside, almost nails Mueller, but it's called for a strike. The The 1-1. Low for ball 2. The 2-2 to Mueller is upstairs for ball 3. And now there's really some movement happening in the Saugerties bullpen. Now, again, another game happening about half an hour after the conclusion here of game number 1. The 3-1 bounced in the dirt. Mueller will take his walk towards first. Carpiers will happily take the extra 90 feet on the wild pitch over to third. And it's really gotten out of control here for the Stallions.
I'm thinking fatigue's really starting to set in for him.
It's only the first inning of work for Gregory Bruno.
You can see he is struggling with the heat.
And now you see the catcher for Saugerties start to actually head down to the bullpen. So maybe you thought that this was just going to be able to push over and last until the next game. Instead, it seems like they're going to have to instill another pitcher potentially here today in game number 1 with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. The first pitch to Joe Haynes was upstairs. The 1-0. This one's lined out into right field. Hobbin-Siefke comes in, but it gets down for a base knock. So Joe Haynes hits an RBI single, brings in a run, and now the Dragons lead by 3. It's 5-2 here in the bottom of the 6th. Mueller advanced to second on the base knock. And the wealth is being shared by the Dragons today. The first pitch to Enrique Diaz is a big cut. The 0-1 is in there for strike 2. The 0-2 from Bruno is chopped on the ground over towards the shortstop, Z. He flips over to first and gets him after a split from Passo. An excellent play for the first baseman, Dylan Passo. Goes out full extension to stop the bleeding. But that doesn't stop Glens Falls from taking a 3-run lead. They need 3 outs to make it 3 straight wins here at East Field. We enter the top of the 7th, and Glens Falls sits just 3 outs away. Ethan Nardacci's going to go back out there for the top of the 7th to try and face 8, 9, and 1 and close this game out. The first pitch he throws to the 8-hitter, Casey Kaminsky, is in there for strike 1. Kaminsky so far today is 0 for 2. Has like most of these Saugerties hitters, as that one's foul tipped into the glove of Haynes for strike 2. He flew out back in the 5th and grounded out to the pitcher back in the 3rd. The 0-2 is swung on and missed. Nips the outside corner. And just like that, Kaminsky goes down looking. Big first out for Ethan Nardacci. So in steps the designated hitter Ryan King, who so far today, in his first game in the PGCBL, he's 1 for 2 with a base knock. The 1-0 is in there for a strike. King was a crucial part of that 2-out rally back in the 5th. He got it started with his single as Nardacci gets another one in there for strike 2. That was really what started to see the momentum swing in the favor of Saugerties, but since then, Glens Falls has taken it back. The 1-2 is chopped on the ground over to Diaz at third. He fields it cleanly over to Mueller. It gets well over his head and over towards the Dragons' dugout. King moves towards second, rounds like he's headed towards third, but will settle up. So another costly mistake by Enrique Diaz puts a runner on in scoring position with only 1 down here in the top of the 7th.
I think we're starting to sound like a broken record with Diaz's defense. Mistake after mistake after mistake. Just airmails that one past Mueller.
And now there's going to be a conversation on the mound between Joe Haynes and Ethan Nardacci. And understandably so with an electric hitter like Luis Rodriguez. We talked about it before, right? As I talked about it, is that Luis Rodriguez, coming off his Player of the Week honors here in the PGCBL, is arguably the hottest hitter and is making a case for PGCBL MVP. Hitting over 400, the stolen bases that he has, leading his team in RBIs. This is the forefront of the guy, and he's doing it all out of the leadoff spot because when he's in these positions, this is when he capitalizes. The first pitch that he sees, though, is unhittable. It's in the dirt for ball 1.
I would go all the way back to the home opener. Rodriguez was giving Glens Falls fits. They had no answer for whatever he was doing out on the field.
Despite that performance, and really the performances as of late, though, in this battle between Player of the Weeks, it's going in favor of Glens Falls. Yep, that is correct. Glens Falls has their own Player of the Week. And that goes to Dylan Harding, who had it for that excellent pitching performance against Mohawk Valley a couple of days ago. So Glens Falls picks up their first Player of the Week in quite some time. Although Harding won't pitch here in today's doubleheader, at least we don't think. Glens Falls is just 2 outs away from picking up its 3rd straight win here at East Field. Nardacci's getting a little wild, throwing 2 straight balls pretty much in the dirt as the count becomes 3-1 to Luis Rodriguez. The benefit here, though, is that if Rodriguez is walked, there's a runner in front of him, which means he can't take any extra bases unless King decides to go. The bad news is that the tying run would then be at the plate. So Nardacci sneaks one in there and draws the count full. So King stands over at second after the E5. The payoff to Rodriguez. is just missed outside. Rodriguez knew it. The Glens Falls dugout wanted it. He's still shaking his head.
He's pumped up.
He's got a lot of energy in him with that walk down to first. That brings the tying run to the plate with Cameron Carroll, and out comes Matt Gonzalez to have a conversation.
And they're doing that because J.J. Trudeau is starting to toss in the Glens Falls bullpen.
We know what J.J. Trudeau is like, and he has a special appreciation for these high-leverage situations.
Yeah, Glens Falls doesn't appear like they're going to be afraid to go to their biggest high-leverage reliever in a spot like this in the first game of a doubleheader.
Even against Mohawk Valley, when it seemed J.J. Trudeau gave up 2 hits. He had just 2 hits all season coming up to that game. Gave up 2 hits in the in the top half of the 8th. But then the offense came up clutch, and then he came in and truly shut it down.
Ended up with the win.
He'd be asked to come in another one of those situations where one mistake really could make or break how this game ends up.
He's got that closer gene. It doesn't seem to affect him at all.
So standing on second is Ryan King. Over at first is Luis Rodriguez, and Cameron Carroll watches the first pitch ball. The 1-0 is swung on and missed. It's going to be hard to turn 2. You're going to have to go to second first, and you're going to have to do it quickly with how much speed stands over at first. The 1-1 is chopped over towards Savoca at second. He flips to short, over to first, and it's there in time. An inning-ending double play ends game 1 of this doubleheader, and the Dragons take it 5-2 over the Saugerties Stallions.
Seemed like a pretty easy way to end that game, especially with Rodriguez's speed. Quick, easy. 4-6-3.
A nice way to end game number 1. But today's action, it's not over yet. Game number 2 is just a half an hour away, and the Dragons would love to extend their win streak here at East Field to 4-0. The Stallions, they look to prevent it from being 3 straight losses at the hands of Glens Falls after going 3-0 last week. All right, we're going to step aside for the next half an hour or so while both these teams reset, refuel, recharge, get some water in them on this hot day, and get ready for game number 2. So join us again, both on Facebook at Glens Falls Dragons and our YouTube at Glens Falls Dragons. We're streaming over there for both these games. We'll be set for game 2 in half an hour.